Hello and welcome to another Royal Reviewer live channel episode. The tiara is back, the brooch is back, the fan flaps are back, and I am back. So hello and welcome to another live edition. As always, it's live, so I shall be trying to read and answer as many viewer comments and questions as I possibly can. So just while people are dropping in to the live chat, I will obviously talk about the title of the video. Today we're going to be talking about the Archbishop of Canterbury has confirmed what lots of people have been talking about, certain claims that Harry and Meghan made during the Oprah interview, and whether or not one of them in particular was true or false. So we're going to be talking about that. I should also say it is the 2nd of April 2021 and it's Good Friday. So I hope everyone has a really lovely Easter weekend wherever you are. So let's have a look. I can see people dropping in already. I'm just going to remove one troll already. Trolls just get banned these days. I'm not taking any messing. So, without further ado, let's get into this story. So, as we know, everybody watched, well, pretty much everybody watched. It had a huge audience. Oprah managed to get literally, I think, the interview of our time. Obviously, the other sort of massive royal interview was, of course, the Diana interview with Martin Bashir. But for our generation, one of the biggest televised royal interviews Oprah managed to get. She spoke to Harry and Meghan, more so Meghan, although Harry did come in for kind of the last quarter and spoke as well. Throughout the interview, there was bombshell after bombshell after bombshell. I think probably, I made a whole video reviewing the Oprah interview. So if you haven't seen my take on that, do go and check that out. But there was a series of claims made. And one of the claims in particular, there were many claims in particular, but one in particular, I think kind of got people wondering, was it true? Was it a mistruth? And that was with regards to the claim that they were secretly married, that they exchanged vows and secretly married in private with the Archbishop of Canterbury a few days before the actual televised wedding. Now, many people at the time, I remember speaking about this at the time, obviously in the UK, people were saying that to be a legal wedding in the UK, you have to have 2 witnesses. It has to be in a proper sanctioned place to be married. And of course, you have to have signed the wedding register. And as many of us kind of expected, that on the actual wedding, on the day, the occasion that was televised, it was broadcast to the world, they went off behind closed doors and they were supposedly signing the marriage register, which would have made the marriage ceremony official. So most people at the time didn't even question that. So most people were just surprised when Harry and Meghan brought up the fact that they were married a few days earlier. It was a bombshell and people didn't really expect that one to come out. Out of everything that they could have possibly said, nobody expected them to say that. So I'm going to read an article which contains all of the quotes that the Archbishop of Canterbury has said. I'll stop every now and again and talk about it. So, Prince Harry and Meghan had just one official ceremony, says Justin Welby. So, forget what you've read, what you've seen, what Harry and Meghan have said. The truth is what the Justin Welby, the Archbishop of Canterbury, said. So, Prince Harry and Meghan were legally married at Windsor Castle, the Archbishop of Canterbury has said. During her interview with Oprah Winfrey, Meghan said the couple exchanged vows 3 days before their official wedding in 2018. And of course, Harry did not come in later and contradict what Meghan said. Justin Welby said he would have been committing a serious crime if he had signed the marriage certificate on the actual day, knowing that it was false. But he met the couple in a private and pastoral setting beforehand, he said. During the 2-hour interview, Meghan told Oprah, 3 days before our wedding, we got married. She said, no one knows that. But we called the Archbishop and we just said, look, this thing, this spectacle is for the world, but we want our union between us. So the vows that we have framed in our room are just the two of us in our backyard with the Archbishop of Canterbury. The Archbishop was speaking to a group of European newspapers when he was asked to address Meghan's remarks. He told the Italian newspaper La Repubblica, I met the Duke and Duchess of Sussex several times in a private and pastoral setting before the official ceremony on Saturday, the 19th of May 2018. That day was the day of the marriage. If I had signed the certificate on a different day, I would have been committing a serious crime. The marriage was celebrated on the 19th of May, but I won't say what occurred in our other meetings. So there we go. And there was also the wedding documents eventually published, which show that Harry and Meghan were legally married at Windsor Castle. And that document was dated the 19th of May 2018 and showed the names of Prince Charles and Doria Ragland as the two signed witnesses. Right, so I'm going to go back up and I'm going to talk about a few points. So first of all, I would like to say that when people give kind of serious, big, important interviews, and they talk about other people, they talk about situations, more often than not, they can end up implicating other people in whatever it is that they're trying to say. This happened in the case of Justin Welby. He was brought into this situation of having to say anything at all because Harry and Meghan chose to speak about this in the interview. If it hadn't been for Harry and Meghan speaking about it, Justin Welby wouldn't have been dragged into a situation, I think rather unfairly, where he was, even being asked to confirm or deny, because of course this is his official job. It's a big, massive role within the Church of England. And to be a kind of almost accused of, as he said, committing a serious crime was very, very serious indeed. And it basically forced him, an innocent party, into having to comment on something. But in doing so, it's kind of like Harry and Meghan set themselves up to be called out, basically, because out of all the things that you could have misled on, this is something that is so easily proven, it's so easily called out. And it kind of does beg the question that if Harry and Meghan have misled on this really easy to prove small detail, what else have they been misleading on within that interview? I think Oprah is a very clever, very intelligent woman. She has not got to the position that she has got to now, the success, the wealth, by being dumb. Oprah is no dummy. And Oprah summed it up right in the very, very first section of the interview when she said that now Meghan has the opportunity, or Harry and Meghan has the opportunity to speak their truth. And I think Oprah knows very, very well. I think she chose those words very carefully, because to speak your truth is your version of the truth. It's what you believe to be true. To speak your truth isn't necessarily the truth. And I think Oprah made that quite clear in the very, very opening segment of that interview, because Oprah, as well as everyone else, knows that there are always two sides to a story. Oprah knew that she was getting Harry and Meghan's side of the story. I'm sure Oprah would love to have the official royal family side of the story. I'm sure Oprah would love to sit down with Prince Charles and William and Catherine and the Queen and get their side, but that's not going to happen. So Oprah was very clever. Like I say, she hasn't got to where she's got by being dumb. Oprah is a clever, intelligent woman who has had, successful interviews, successful career. She knew to outlay right from the beginning that this was their truth, that it was not necessarily the truth. More often than not, the truth is somewhere in the middle, kind of meets and amalgamates somewhere in the middle. But the one thing I will say is that to have a private ceremony with the Archbishop or the vicar or whoever is going to marry you in private, I actually think was a really lovely thing. I think it must have been a really lovely, amazing, personal moment for Harry and Meghan, because of course the big set piece wedding, it wasn't just for them, it wasn't just for their families, although there wasn't many of Meghan's family there, let's just put it that way. But the big set piece wedding was very, very much for the world. It was a stage set piece wedding. It really was a ceremony for the world. And I can quite understand the fact that Harry and Meghan would have wanted something a little bit more personal, a little bit more private, something that really, really meant something to them. So I do not blame them at all that during one of these pastoral meetings that they would have written their own vows, which I'm sure were absolutely lovely. I'm sure, you know, if you could witness that moment, it would have been a beautiful, beautiful moment. But it was not the actual wedding. And Harry and Meghan did mislead the audience, the Oprah audience, when they kind of made it sound like it was the official wedding. I'm sure in their hearts, and I can quite understand, in their hearts, they probably think and feel that that was their actual wedding, that personal, private exchanging of vows. A beautiful moment, I'm sure it was, but it was not the actual wedding. So why Harry and Meghan kind of said that and perpetuated that and let that get out there, I do not know. Obviously, Harry and Meghan did later release a statement also confirming that it was not the official wedding. So they kind of did get called out about it, but I can quite understand why, you know, they would want to think that that was their wedding. And if they want to think going forward that that was the memorable moment, that was, I suppose, the marking of their union, if they want to think of that as their actual wedding, that is entirely up to them. They are entitled, they are completely entitled to think that. Like I say, I'm sure it was a beautiful, lovely moment, and I don't blame them for having that personal moment, because like I said, it was a spectacle for the world. Meghan was right, you know, it completely was a spectacle, and I'm sure they did want the union to be between just them. I also do like the fact that they framed their vows. I mean, I wonder how different their vows were from what everyone heard in the official ceremony. I wonder what the differences were. But they have them framed in their bedroom for just the two of them to see, and I also think that is lovely as well. I really do. But I think they put the Archbishop of Canterbury in a very difficult position where he was almost forced, I suppose, to defend his honour by basically having to say that Harry and Meghan were wrong. And yeah, I just don't understand why they mentioned that. They could have said, look, 3 days before the wedding, we exchanged some private vows that actually mean more to us than the big set piece spectacle wedding. Maybe that's what they actually meant to say, but it didn't come out that way, and it came out as if they were trying to kind of mislead everyone. And like I said before, if they'd been caught out misleading people on this very easy to prove detail, what else bigger have they misled people on? I really don't know. But anyway, the legal marriage was on the day that everybody saw. So that was the actual wedding. Debbie says, why did Meghan lie for? I mean, again, we don't know that she was technically lying, which is why I've called this video misled, because the words that she used, the words that she chose to use, were very misleading. So not necessarily that it was a lie, but it was misleading. It wasn't very clear, I think. Darlene says it was obvious that it wasn't legal. If you think Meghan and Harry lied, then you were always against them. No, I didn't say lied. I was very carefully put misled, because misleading and lying are two completely different things. Queen of Kingsby says it is obviously a strange lie. Well, mistruth, I would say. And also, Harry and Meghan are very much perpetuating real news versus fake news at the moment. They want the information put out there to be truthful and accurate, but yet at the same time, you know, details that they've been putting out themselves have now been proven to be a mistruth, misinformation themselves. So there we go. And that's basically what I was going to speak about today. Now, in tomorrow's video, I'm going to leave it there because I want this video to be a one-issue video, and I'm sure that people are going to have their views and their comments, and I welcome people voicing their views and their comments. You can say your truth if you want to say your truth. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the truth, but you can voice your truth if you want to. In the comment section below, all I ask is that people are respectful to me, to other people, respectful for other people's views, and then everything will be fine. So tomorrow I'm going to come on and I will be doing a live chat talking about the Duchess of Cambridge attending the Sarah Everard vigil, and was her attendance legal or not, and was it an official engagement or not? So that's what we'll be talking about tomorrow. So if you've enjoyed this video, if it's clarified things a little bit, please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to share on social media, and always subscribe to the channel so that you get notified when I come on and do one of these pop-up live episodes. So have a really lovely Good Friday. Have a really lovely Easter. I will come on and talk tomorrow. So from me in Shropshire, mwah to you all, and goodbye.